Hello and welcome to Last Week in AWS. I'm Corey Quinn, and this is brought to you by, well, me over at Duckbill. If you have problems with your AWS bill or your AWS contract or other cloud provider expressions of same, that's new, check us out at duckbillhq.com. Now, what does AWS have for us last week? Well, let's find out. Announcing Amazon RDS for Oracle on AWS Outposts. That's right, running Oracle on managed hardware you rented from AWS that lives in your own data center so you can avoid putting your data in AWS's data center. Bring your own license naturally because Larry Ellison's yacht fleet isn't going to fund itself. Your CFO just fainted, and I don't blame them. Direct Connect now supports AWS CloudFormation. Direct Connect getting CloudFormation support in 2026 is like finding out your local DMV just discovered email. This service has been around since 2012. 14 years to let people manage their dedicated network connections as code. I assume someone at AWS finally tripped over a very old Jira ticket. AWS Service Availability Updates. That means things they're turning off. Roughly 14 services and features, which are the same thing, just depending upon the AWS product manager's level of ambition. Getting old yellered in one blog post is a bold move. RDS custom for Oracle and Workmail are heading to sunset. App runners going to maintenance. Someone finally checked the usage metrics. Pour one out for Workspace's Thin Client, a product I'm genuinely surprised lasted this long. Someone owes me a $300 refund for mine. I'm not kidding. S3 Vectors expands to 17 additional regions. That means your vector embeddings can now experience data sovereignty requirements in 31 exciting flavors. 2 billion vectors per index at S3 durability sounds useful, which makes me deeply suspicious about what the pricing page looks like once you actually start querying things. CloudFront now supports SHA-256 for signed URLs and signed cookies. SHA-1 has been considered broken since 2017, but sure, take your time. At least they made it opt-in with a query parameter instead of just upgrading, because nothing says security first like letting customers keep using deprecated cryptography by default. No additional cost though, so I guess I'll save my rage. CloudWatch now supports open telemetry metrics in public preview. Free during previews doing a lot of heavy lifting here. CloudWatch finally accepting OTel metrics natively means you can stop maintaining that janky conversion pipeline you pretend doesn't exist. Enjoy the honeymoon period before pricing drops and your CFO discovers you've been shipping metrics from every microservice known to humanity. Announcing compute-optimized instance bundles for Amazon Lightsail. 72 vCPUs on Lightsail. At that point, you're not using the simple VPS alternative. You're just using EC2 with training wheels and fewer knobs. Someone at AWS looked at customers outgrowing Lightsail and said, what if they simply never left? Your bill, however, will feel very EC2. Announcing managed daemon support for Amazon ECS managed instances. Decoupling daemon lifecycle management from application deployments is one of those things that should have existed since day one, but instead, platform engineers spent years coordinating monitoring agent updates across hundreds of services like it was some kind of distributed therapy session. Better late than never, I guess. Leverage agentic AI for autonomous incident response with AWS DevOps Agent. An always available operations teammate that requires an eligible AWS support plan, meaning you're paying for the privilege of having AI do what your 2 a.m. on-call engineer does, except it won't passively aggressively slack the team about it afterwards. MTTR drops from hours to minutes. Invoices go from minutes to hours. Nginx Ingress retiring affects roughly half of all Kubernetes environments, and AWS helpfully published a migration guide that ends with use our load balancer instead. Shocking twist. Though I'll admit the guide is actually useful. Its rare AWS blog posts solve a problem they didn't create themselves. Optimizing data transfer costs when using AWS Network Load Balancer. Nothing screams we love our customers like publishing a blog post explaining how to avoid the data transfer charges you designed. Penny per gig cross-AZ fees sound trivial till you multiply by petabytes and realize that you get charged for leaving and entering an AZ. The fix is to enable zonal affinity, which trades cost savings for uneven traffic distribution. Pick your poison, pay either way. And finally, AWS Security Agent on-demand penetration testing now generally available. An AI agent that autonomously pen tests your apps 24/7 across multi-cloud environments. What could possibly go wrong? I do love that AWS built a hacking tool that works on Azure and GCP too. Finally, a multi-cloud strategy I can get behind. Your security budget just became AWS's recurring revenue. And that's what happened last week at AWS. I'm Corey Quinn. Stick around.